Hey, my name's Sam Bone. In this video, we're going to go over the 5 benefits of an uncontested divorce in Alabama. First, let's start out with what is an uncontested divorce. There's basically 2 types of divorces. We have a contested divorce, which is a divorce where you and your spouse are not in agreement. Therefore, we leave it up to the judge. We have an uncontested divorce, which is where you and your spouse come to an agreement for how to divide your assets and debts and what to do with custody, visitation, and child support. In this video, I'm going to go over the benefits of an uncontested divorce. The first is that it's lower costs and lower expenses. So, for instance, if we're going to go to court, you're going to have higher costs for attorney fees. You're going to have subpoena costs, perhaps. You may have a process server cost. You may have to pay extra for getting a quadro done. You may have to pay to get banking records. You may have to pay for child care, for you to have someone to keep your child while you go through depositions or court cases. You may have to pay for an accountant or some sort of an assessment for the value of an estate. Another benefit is that it's kept private and confidential. For instance, if you guys come to an agreement, we don't necessarily have to air your dirty laundry. For instance, in your complaint, if the reason why you guys are divorcing is adultery, you don't necessarily have to put that. For your kids' sake, for instance, if that's why you're divorcing, you could just put incompatibility of temperament and not have to air out to the whole community that dad's been running around. You might want to have it confidential so that you're not putting someone's employment at stake. So, for instance, if there was a teacher that was breaking the law while at school, if you guys come to an agreement, we don't necessarily have to put that in the public sphere so that one of the parents can still maintain their job. Next is a faster resolution. If we file for a divorce, we can get you a divorce within beginning 30 days after you file. If you guys have come to an agreement. If it's contested, you can get it done anywhere from 3 to 6 months, or I've had cases go on in excess of 2 years. And so, if speed is important or efficiency is important, then uncontested divorce can get that done quicker. For instance, if you're trying to remarry, if you're trying to move, there's all sorts of reasons why you would want to be able to get your divorce done quicker. Next is it's less stressful. If we know the outcome ahead of time, for instance, you guys both know you can handle the outcome of the divorce, it's going to be less stressful. Instead of leaving the fate of your assets and debts, or even maybe your children, up to a judge, a man or a woman who you don't know, making some important decisions based on just 2 to 3 hours of testimony in some cases. Next, that it can be better tailored to your circumstances. You and your spouse have a better idea of how to divide up time for your kids, divide up assets and debts than a man or a woman in a row who listen to a short period of testimony and making these decisions. For instance, you may know what your Thanksgiving is versus and know what your spouse's Thanksgiving is with their family, and make it to where you guys can do both. Whereas a judge is just going to give you a standard order without any regard to exactly what your Thanksgivings or Christmases would be.